Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 shark horror Maneater, a film that is written and directed by Justin Lin, and it stars Nicky Whelan, Trace Atkins, Shane West and Jeff Fahey. Right, this film focuses on Nicky Whelan's character Jessie, who is a woman who's just had her heart broken. She is taken on like this wild trip that I think was supposed to be her honeymoon with her friends to try and get over her loss, heartbreak, after her split up with her fiance, something like that. Whilst there, she and her friends are set upon by a man-eating shark, and at the same time, Trace Atkins' character Harlan is an islander who loses his daughter to this shark and vows revenge. Right, what are my thoughts on Maneater? Well, once again, guys, we are here discussing a low-budget shark film. This is a genre that is churning out what it would seem, almost like a film a week at this point in regards to shark movies, and most of them are pretty bad, I think it's fair to say. Where does this one sit? Well, pretty much exactly where you would expect it to sit. Unfortunately, this film is not a good film for a lot of different reasons, but there's a shame to that as well, because I think it had potential. I think the idea here is certainly pretty good, and they do attempt to make this shark scary. It's just the budget massively lets this film down. I mean, shark films, you're kind of stuck a little bit with what you're going to do with a shark film, because, it's a shark, it's going to eat people. They're all going to be similar in the stories they're kind of telling. And this one's no different, really. But the scenes where it shows the shark attacking, I think they do try and make them as impactful, as scary as they can, with lots of blood, limbs, being bitten off, that kind of thing. But unfortunately, the effects just so let it down so badly at times. Like the attacks and the scenes where they're in the jaws and all that kind of stuff, and it just doesn't look great. So sometimes you'll watch a low-budget shark film where you just don't see enough. You'll just see like a fin in the water. And some low-budget shark films, they almost show too much, and then the budget completely lets it down. And that is one of the major faults with this film. The budget completely lets it down, which is a shame. If this film had triple the budget, I suspect they probably could have made it look a bit more realistic, which I think probably would have pleased audiences a little bit more. Now, that's not to say that everything else in this film kind of makes up for it, because it just doesn't. We've got here in this film, unfortunately, totally forgettable characters. This Jessie character, Nicky Whelan, and the Trace Atkins character, Harlan, are the only two really that are memorable in any way. And even the Jessie character, we're supposed to feel sympathy for her because she's kind of had her heart broken and stuff, but we're not really given any kind of chance to bond with her in any way. So therefore, you don't really care about her character that much. She's just more memorable because she gets a bit more screen time than some of the others. The Harlan character, played by Trace Atkins, is probably the best character in the film. Now, Trace Atkins is an actor you may recognise. I think he's a singer as well, but he's done quite a lot of low-budget films. I think some of them with the director as well. He's done quite a few westerns, which you can understand when you see him. He looks like he belongs in westerns. He's like, because he's lost his daughter and stuff, you can kind of get behind his character a little bit more. Shane West, who you may remember from The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, side character, is not in it a great deal. Jeff Fahey, he plays like the resident shark expert. He's not in the film a great deal. And there is some of the smaller actors in the film with smaller roles, and some of the acting is really bad. where they're supposed to act shocked and scared at things that clearly haven't happened in reality. So you're supposed to act, but they just couldn't do it effectively. It was really cringy at times. So that really, really took you out of the movie. In regards to positives, like I've said, the idea is certainly sound. And it would have worked with a better budget, and the locations were certainly beautiful and that kind of stuff. But beyond that, really, I couldn't really give it any real compliments in regards to anything else really in this film. I mean, there's so many silly things that happen in the film. I mean, there's 2 or 3 times where they directly quote Jaws. Really, there's a scene where she says, "So you need the shark to smile at us," when they're trying to set up a plan to kill the shark, which is like, oh, really? And then there's a scene right at the end where the Harlan character says, pretty much, we're going to need a bigger boat. And you're just like, oh, guys, you're not doing yourself any favours here. And the plan at the end, for me, properly sucked. They didn't really have a decent plan of how to kill this shark. It just basically resulted in someone jumping in the water and firing shotguns at it. It was like ridiculous, and it was just sucked, I think, the ending. It was poorly planned out and just didn't make sense at all. And then the film didn't know how to end. It went to real Return of the King territory. You know, we got like an ending that you would have kind of been satisfied with, and then they tack on another 5 or 10 minutes of that very clearly appeared to be setting up a sequel. Whether that sequel will ever see the light of day, who knows? Maybe there are some real low budget fans out there that'll click with this one. And like I say, I've certainly seen worse low budget shark films than this. I mean a lot worse than this. There is some entertainment to be had here if you could tolerate the low budget and some of the dodgy scenes and dodgy acting here and there. It's got a decent idea. The execution really lets it down. So unfortunately, I can't really give this one any more than a 4 out of 10. I think if the shark scenes had been more impressive, it would have elevated it a little bit. But beyond that, it wouldn't be fair to score it any higher than 4 out of 10. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you found it useful. I will be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.